Stay tuned. Coming up this episode, I share 3 examples of complacency, all that happened within a 10-minute span of time. And while the outcome was not tragic, the potential for tragedy was tremendous. And I got to witness all of it. But first, let's pay the bills. Today's episode is sponsored by Midwest Fire. For more than 20 years, Midwest Fire has been manufacturing high-quality tankers, tanker pumpers, and fire rescue vehicles in the United States and Canada. Keeping firefighters safe while enhancing their capabilities is what they do best. To learn more, go to MidwestFire.com. Hello and welcome to episode 273 of the Situational Awareness Matters show. I'm your host, Rich Gassaway. The purpose of this program is to help improve situational awareness and high-risk decision-making for individuals and teams who work in high-stress, high-consequence, time-compressed environments with changing conditions. The SAMatters mission is simple. We want to help you see the bad things coming and time to prevent bad outcomes. I'm coming to you today from my office in St. Paul, Minnesota, having just returned from a whirlwind tour that included 11 situational awareness programs for Syncrude Oil Refinery in Fort McMurray, Alberta, the National Volunteer Fire Council Summit in Portland, Oregon, and the National Fire Protection Association Conference in San Antonio, Texas, and the Itasca County Emergency Communications Center program for telecommunications professionals in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. All right, today's feature segment is brought to you by SimsUShare. SimsUShare is a simple and affordable way to help you develop and practice situational awareness skills. You can quickly build sims from your photos to simulate almost any kind of incident, including active threat scenarios. And the new SimsUShare Command Training Center now lets you conduct multi-company drills over the internet, so you don't have to have all your companies come together. They can stay in station and do the training. Check them out at SimsUShare.com. All right, let's jump into today's feature segment where I share 3 examples of complacency, all that happened in a 10-minute span of time. And while the outcome wasn't tragic, the potential for tragedy was tremendous. And I got to witness all of it. Complacency is a big deal for first responders because it impacts your situational awareness on multiple levels. I'd like to give every responder the benefit of the doubt that if or when they found themselves being complacent, that it wasn't happening on purpose. In other words, I hope every responder desires to be diligent and alert. Yet complacency still gets us. I recently had an up-close and personal experience that I'd like to share with you. If you follow my Twitter and Facebook and Instagram updates, you know this. I travel a lot. I'm sort of the living version of planes, trains, and automobiles, except I'm not going to share my bed with John Candy. Enough said about that. The popularity of the Flawed Situational Awareness program as part of my Get in the Loop tour keeps me rather nomadic, about 220 days a year. Trust me, I'm not complaining. I absolutely love sharing my message with first responders in business and industry. And even more, I love the feedback that the message is making a difference. And for that, I'm very, very thankful. But recently on one of my trips, I was startled awake at 2:53 in the morning with a fire alarm activation. The alarm only rang for about 10 seconds. And knowing what I know about night clerks at hotels, I suspected that the alarm may have been prematurely silenced. My suspicion was confirmed when I went to the lobby and heard the clerk on the telephone telling someone that the alarm panel was indicating that the fire pump was running. I was the only patron in the lobby. All the other patrons had called the front desk. Do I have to leave? Is it a false alarm? And the clerk was saying, yeah, it's a false alarm. You don't have to leave. As the building was sprinklered and there was no smoke in the lobby, I poured a cup of coffee just to see how things were going to play out. In part because I was curious and in part because I was angry that the clerk had silenced the alarm without investigating the source and then told all the patrons that were calling the lobby that it was a false alarm. I could hear the sirens coming, and when the fire department pulled up, 3 firefighters dismounted the engine and entered the lobby. And to my disappointment, the situation rose to a higher and newer level of complacency. Every member of the crew had the flaps open on their coats, no helmets, no SCBAs, no tools, no water can, no thermal imaging camera, which in all fairness, maybe they didn't have a thermal imaging camera on that apparatus. They were no more prepared to fight a fire than I would have been if I'd have came to the lobby wearing Nomex boxer shorts. Ooh, yeah, erase that one from memory. And there were no guests. No guests in the lobby. Surely I wasn't the only person who heard the alarm, but I was probably the only person in the hotel that had witnessed night clerks silencing alarms to avoid disrupting slumbered guests. There were 3 examples of complacency witnessed all in a span of 10 minutes. Complacent act number 1, the night clerk was complacent for silencing the alarm too quick, assuming the activation was just another false alarm. Complacent act number 2, the patrons of the hotel who heard the alarm and it lasted only about 10 seconds. And then they either assumed it was a false alarm or called the lobby and the clerk told them it was a false alarm and they went back to bed. Complacent act number 3, the fire department responded to the alarm with their guard down, way down. I could tell by their movement, their demeanor, their comments, their attire. For them, this was just another false alarm. I didn't sleep well the rest of the night, and as I lay there, I imagined how the outcome of this seemingly benign event could have been tragically different if only a few circumstances had changed. Whose job is it to create and nurture a culture that prohibits or discourages complacency? Is it senior management? The training officers? The company officers? Or the individual firefighters? I'd say it's everybody's job, because no one is exempt from the potential consequences of complacency. It's evident to me that a complacent coworker may be more dangerous than a broken piece of equipment on the apparatus. Equipment problems are easy to fix, repair, or replace. But when responders are complacent in their mindset, it can be much more challenging to fix that. Contrast this to a similar experience that I had during a visit to Asheville, North Carolina. During that visit, there was also a fire alarm activation at my hotel during the night. This may seem like an odd stroke of bad luck, but keep in mind I spend hundreds of nights in hotel rooms. There's going to be fire alarm activations. These firefighters came off the truck with a working fire mindset. No complacency to be found here. It was all business. Full gear, SCBA, tools, water, flashlights, and thermal imaging camera. Just as it should be. Kudos to Asheville for setting a good example. Coincidentally, the hotel clerk there did not silence the alarm, and the lobby was full of patrons. I suspect that has as much to do with Asheville's fire marshal being proactive at educating the desk clerk on how to handle fire alarm activations. The problem with complacency is it can creep in to how your departments do things in a sneaky, almost unnoticeable way. That is unnoticeable until some nerdy retired firefighter turned cognitive neuro researcher happens to be hanging out in the lobby of the hotel when you respond to a fire alarm. He notices. If your mindset leads you to believe you're responding to just another false alarm, then your guard will be down. Not only can this cause you to be physically underprepared for the potential of the call, it can also cause you to be mentally underprepared for the potential dangers the call can hold. Early in my career, I was taught to prepare and respond to every call with the mindset that what I was going to find when I arrived was the worst case scenario situation, and then to get into the mental mindset to be ready for that. Ironically, as I have often talked about in the articles that I've written on the SAMatters website, and some here on the podcast, the repetition of physical and mental preparation for worst-case scenarios builds both cognitive and, when you practice it, muscle memory. This means my mental and physical preparation for all events to be high potential would become a habit. My automatic, scripted, subconscious performance under stress. This would pay off for me in spades throughout my career, and it will for you too. Coincidentally, if your mindset is one of complacency, like it's just another false alarm, it can trigger your mind and body to behave accordingly. In this state of low arousal, the senses neither capture nor comprehend clues and cues that conform situational awareness. Being on guard helps improve situational awareness. During my research and interviews, I had a discussion with a commander who responded to just another false alarm, to a building that had had numerous false alarms in the past. His mindset was one of complacency. Just arrive and reset the alarm. But this time it was a fire, a significant fire. He described the impact vividly. For those who might be interested, in a book that I wrote called Fireground Command Decision Making, this incident is chronicled starting on page 239. This commander admitted to having a very difficult time recovering from his complacent mindset and getting geared up for the task that he was facing. His crew was also complacent. It was just another false alarm. And that mindset compounded the problem. Respond to every call for service as if it holds the potential to cause you great harm. Be vigilant in your capturing of clues and cues and understanding what they mean. No responder ever goes to a call thinking that it's going to be their last. But many catastrophic outcomes result from complacent mindsets. Let me give you a couple of discussion questions for your organization. Discuss a time when you were complacent on a call and the potential impact could have had a detrimental effect on you and other responders. Discuss some specific strategies you use to avoid complacency as a first responder. Discuss some strategies that you can use to help others overcome the affliction of complacency. Discuss with your coworkers how you can help each other avoid complacent mindsets.
I think Rich's ability to connect with any crowd, that's a gift that he has, and it's easily transferable.
This is the second or third time that I've heard him speak. There's some teeth to the information that he brings.
It's been really good. Good mixes. He knows when to throw in a joke here and there to get you back involved.
Some tools. I'm a new lieutenant, so very, very interesting. And some of these things I can take back to the station and use with some of the new firefighters I have on my crew.
Something to get you thinking about your job more, big picture type stuff. I've seen him before. A good review for sure.
I have heard him before, yes. After he speaks, there's usually an enlightenment because now they're more aware of what's going on around them and what they're experiencing as they're responding to calls.
He's very, very knowledgeable. I'm enjoying it so far.
And that intuition, that's a big one. The video that he just showed up here, we're getting a lot out of this. I think this is a really good seminar, especially for new people and old. So I think it's very informative. This talk gives us more ammunition to do all three.
They're relatable to what we have experienced or very well could experience, so he makes it easy to let the knowledge sink in.
I mean, it's awesome. A lot of stories you can usually relate to yourself and calls you have been on, aha moment. Like, he just helps you focus on picking out the right things. It's awesome. It's a refresher and keeps my eyes open. It's good stuff.
If people listen to the message that he has, it's an incredible message delivered by a very compassionate person. Strategy and tactics are going to always change. Situational awareness it doesn't change. It's always there.
He's got some good stories to tell, and he's very thorough with his stories, and it's interesting listening to him.
Very clear speaker, and he talks on our level because he's been there, he's been in the trenches. I think he's doing well, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
If you've been listening to the episodes of the last couple of months, you heard me mention this is our 5th anniversary, and we're going to do a giveaway to celebrate it. Well, little did I know there are rules and laws that got to be followed when you do a giveaway, and it turns out I can't just give stuff away, at least not legally. In fact, we can't even call it a giveaway because that's not a formal legal term. We have to call it a sweepstakes. So we're going to have a sweepstakes. And I'm learning a lot about how to have a sweepstakes, including the rules and disclosures that I have to do if I want to do it legally. And of course, I want to do it legally, which unfortunately means there's going to be a delay in the process and rules and all the other crap I would have rather avoided. But I can't. So stay tuned. I mean, this is the 5th anniversary year, so I have a whole year to organize this celebration. Just stay tuned. The good news is the prizes provided by the sponsors are over $2,000, so that's going to be cool, including some cool electronics. The Situational Awareness Matters show was launched in 2014 with a purpose to give a platform to those who've had near-miss events to share their stories. When I'm on the road delivering my classes, I often ask attendees about near-miss events they've had, and they have shared some amazing stories in the classroom. Those stories motivated me to launch the podcast, so that those lessons could be shared with a bigger audience. That's you. The Situational Awareness Matters show, podcasted as SAMatters Radio, and our companion video program, SAMatters TV, on YouTube, along with other video and audio content, has enjoyed more than 800,000 downloads. I'm so thankful for your support. I feel so honored to be able to provide a platform for these amazing stories to be shared. If you like the show, please do me a solid favor. Please subscribe. It's free and it's easy. For the audio version, just search SAMatters Radio on whatever podcast player you listen to. For the video version, subscribe to SAMatters TV on YouTube. And if you find some value in the show, I would really appreciate it if you would give the show a rating and write a review. Your ratings and reviews help others to find the show, but more importantly, your feedback inspires me. It truly does. To work even harder for you. Since 2007, Situational Awareness Matters instructors have helped more than 1,300 organizations and trained more than 80,000 individuals on how to improve high-risk decision-making, including first responders, industrial workers, military personnel, business leaders, medical professionals, utility workers, highway workers, public transportation operators, aviation workers, oil refinery process operators, and more. If you or someone you know or care about works in a high-risk, high-consequence, decision-making environment, then we're here to help to improve your safety and your survival, and to help you accomplish the most important mission of all, and that's to go home to the ones who love you. I'd like to take a moment to honor and thank the companies, organizations, agencies, and departments that have hosted recent Situational Awareness Matters training for their team members. The Washington State Fire Chiefs Association, the Safety Institute Associates Conference, Syncrude Canada Oil Refinery, the National Volunteer Fire Council Summit, the National Fire Protection Association Conference, the Itasca County Emergency Communications Center. Now, if you want to know where we're going to be upcoming, here's the schedule. June 24 and 25, I'll be at the Odessa Fire Department in Odessa, Texas, my second visit there. July 11 and 12 at an industrial facility in Wisconsin doing some situational awareness consulting. July 15 and 16 at the Southeast Texas Regional Advisory Council EMS Committee training seminars in Houston, Texas. July 24 and 25, I'll be at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. July 26th at the North Metro Fire District in Broomfield, Colorado. And July 31 at the Evans Fire Department in Evans, Colorado. August 8th to 9th at Fire Rescue International in Atlanta, Georgia. August 14 through 16 at the Lansing Fire Department in Lansing, Michigan. August 17th at the Ingham County Fire Chiefs Association in Michigan. and August 27 through 29 at the Voluntary Protection Programs Participants Association National Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you want to see the locations of all the upcoming events, just head over to the SAMatters.com website, and the schedule is under the Training Programs tab on the top of the homepage. If you're interested in hosting a program, just click on the Contact Us tab on the top of the homepage, and I'll give you a call. If you want to become part of the SA Matters community of learners, there's several ways you can do that. Click on the show notes for how to get connected with us by signing up for our monthly newsletter, subscribing to the SA Matters radio podcast, subscribing to the SA Matters TV YouTube channel, and how to follow us on the social media channels of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. There we share ideas about how to improve situational awareness, how to make better decisions under stress, and how to improve the skills of critical thinking and resilient problem solving. Well, that's it. Episode 273 of the Situational Awareness Matters show is complete. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, Midwest Fire. Thank you to our feature segment sponsor, Sims You Share. And thank you to our associate sponsor, Chief Miller. Thank you to all the companies, agencies, and organizations and associations that have hosted Situational Awareness Matters training programs. Thank you to all the organizations that have hosted a live stream training program where I come to your organization live via the internet to train your members. Thank you to the more than 3,000 students and graduates of the highly acclaimed Situational Awareness Matters Online Academy. The feedback I received from the Academy graduates is just amazing and humbling. Thank you for that. And most importantly, thank you, the listeners and viewers of this show, for sharing some of your valuable time with me today. I really appreciate your support of the SA Matters mission. Be safe out there, and may the peace of the Lord and strong situational awareness be with you always.
You've been listening to the Situational Awareness Matters radio show with Dr. Richard B. Gassaway. If you are interested in learning more about situational awareness, human factors, and decision-making under stress, visit SAMatters.com. If you are interested in booking Dr. Gassaway for an upcoming event, visit his personal website at richgassaway.com.